Hey Geeks! We're back with another sci-fi review, this time reviewing the sci-fi original series, The Expanse, Season 2, Episode 10, titled Cascade.
If you haven't seen this episode yet, you're going to want to skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler.
Okay, first of all, Holden. He's not exactly spiraling out of control, but he's definitely hardening, and ironically, he's becoming a lot more like Miller, who he totally did not see eye to eye with at all earlier this season, but now he's almost like a mirror image of...
he's totally channeling his inner Miller.
Yeah, and Naomi, totally not cool with this, by the way. I feel like, well, this episode specifically, she is pissed at him after he let Amos beat the crap out of that guy.
Yeah, with a can of chicken. This is a really interesting evolution for Holden's character, and it's going to be interesting to see how Naomi deals with this, and if she's able to deal with this, and what happens with their dynamic.
Yeah, because right now, it seems like she's basically at her wit's end with him, almost. Yeah. I mean, she was so mad after that whole deal with Amos and beating the crap out of the guy, and Holden holding her back. I don't know if their relationship can handle this amount of strain, man. Speaking of Amos, for most of the episode, he was paired with Prax. And we got another great Amos moment. First of all, he beat the crap out of that guy with a can of chicken. But then Prax was like, I thought you said you weren't a homicidal maniac. He's like, well, I didn't kill him.
Yeah, I love that. He's like, I didn't kill him. So.
Great Amos moment. Those, when we get those, they're just some of my favorite moments of the entire series.
Yeah.
And then with Prax, through him, we get the title of the episode, Cascade. Well, first of all, Ganymede is basically the primary source of food for the belt. And if it does collapse, which Prax says it basically, it's just a matter of time now. It's going to.
Yeah, he said it's already dead, they just don't know it yet.
Yeah, so that's going to seriously limit the amount of food for the belt. And that's just one more thing that we're going to have to deal with. I mean, there's the proto-molecule, there's Earth and Mars basically in the almost a hot war, definitely, the peak of a Cold War, almost a hot war. And dude, I mean, just all of these things adding up. Yeah. How much is it going to take before all of civilization in the solar system reaches its breaking point?
Alright, so now let's go back to the Rocinante and talk about Alex.
Yeah.
Who we thought was chugging energy drinks on the ship, and then we read the synopsis, and no, he was getting drunk. He was drinking beer.
Drinking beer, so irresponsible, Alex.
That seems incredibly irresponsible, and it seems like something he wouldn't do, which makes me think that there's probably like a metabolizer that they have in this world where he could just give himself a shot and he's sober. Yeah. Because why else would he allow himself? He's their rescue man.
Yeah. I mean, he was acting drunk, but we're like, maybe he's just like the adrenaline's making him loopy or something. Yeah. But just the shape of the cans, it looked like the shape of a can of an energy drink. Yeah. And drinking beer and getting drunk would be so irresponsible. We're like, well, he's not doing that. Those got to be energy drinks. But no, in the official recap on sci-fi.com, no, it was beer and he was drunk. And damn, Alex, gotta tell you, man, disappointed. Moving on to Avasarala and Ehrenreich. Very early in this episode, Ehrenreich seemed, kind of sheepish, or there was definitely something going on with him from very early on in the episode. And then when he confessed basically everything for Avasarala, and she bought it. Like, she's... I don't trust him. I am on board with her guy, Cordiar. I am totally on board with him. Ehrenreich is not to be trusted. But it seems like Avasarala is maybe not totally trusting of him, but more than I would be.
Yeah.
And finally, let's talk about Bobby Draper. Her scenes in this episode were my absolute favorite scenes in this episode. All the way from her breaking out of her room, which effectively became her cell, through her trip through kind of like the slums outside of the UN, all the way to the ocean. And I especially liked, it's my favorite scene in the episode, I especially liked her scene with Nico.
Yes.
The doctor who's put his name on the list to be a doctor, and he's 52. He put his name on the list when he was 17. And I think maybe her interaction with him might change her perspective on Earthers in general, maybe?
Because Martians are taught that Earthers are lazy and they decide to just live on there's like a standard ration. You can choose. There's so many people that they don't need all of those people working. So there's like a standard ration, and it's basically enough to survive on and nothing else. And you can choose that. And they just assume that everybody chooses that, but instead it's people want an occupation, but there's too many of them. So a lot of them just they don't get their wish.
Yeah, and there's so many people. And just the stipend from the government isn't enough to live on.
Yeah.
To the point to where, during the winters, they have to live off of sewer water, and he's basically trades her meds so that he can trade and get the medicine so they can survive the winter after living on sewer water.
Yeah.
And I think just learning that story, she was shocked.
Yeah,
she's like, is that true? And he's like, would it matter if I said it was? And I'm like, dude. Like, that is serious, and I think that really hit home with her, that she's like, man, you know what, not all Earthers have it easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's really going to have a major impact on her. And then when she did finally get to the ocean, Frankie Adams, who plays Bobby Draper, seriously flexed her acting muscles.
Yeah.
Because just the look on her face when she saw the ocean for the first time, it was utter just awestruck.
Yeah.
And
she did amazing through this whole episode with the disorientation, falling off the roof, walking problems because of the horizon. Like, that didn't feel like it was acted. It felt like she was out of her climate and something was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it was awesome.
And I'm stuck on just the look on her face when she saw the ocean. It was like a religious experience almost. And that the thing is, the water's black.
It's disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah.
And to her eyes, it's beautiful.
Because it's water. It's standing water. They don't freaking have that.
Which, I mean, just that is it was such a beautiful moment. And then her interaction with Avasarala. Even though I do think her view of an Earther is changing, she's not ready to trust Avasarala.
Yeah.
But I think she's going to come around sooner rather than later.
And not only is she not willing to trust Avasarala, she's not willing to distrust Marge yet.
She'll get there, and I think it's going to happen pretty soon. Because Avasarala basically confirms exactly what happened. She's like, you're right, there was a person out there with no vac suit. And this is what
it shows her a picture,
This is what it was, and that it's exactly what she said she saw, and you could see the recognition on her face. And then when Avasarala told her it was a weapon that was being tested by the Martians, that's what clicked, and she's like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
She's not ready to believe that yet.
She's shut down there.
Yeah, she's not ready to believe that yet, but she will be, and I think it'll probably be by the end of the season. And I think that's pretty much all we have for this video. You can probably tell from our voices we're both sick right now, so it's taking everything we have to do this video. So if you have anything to add, let us know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, let us know by dropping a like on it, and subscribe if you haven't already.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.